Hello, today we're going to be talking about an introduction to the least common denominator, or LCD. Now, this is used to add and subtract fractions with different denominators. So for example, when you have 2 over 3 plus 7 over 3, notice that the denominators are the same, therefore you just add the top and keep the denominator number the same. So 2 plus 7 is 9 over 3, right? And then here you simplify this so it becomes just a 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, now what happens when the denominators are different? Here they're different, all of them are different here. Now, there's two particular strategies to do some of these. So notice that here, the 4 and 8, they have a common factor. Here, they also have a common factor. 12 and 3 have a common factor. Okay, 9 and 63, they also have a common factor. So that's going to be our first strategy. Our first strategy is going to be the following. If 4 and 8, well, the largest number is going to be 8. So what number times 4 will give you 8? It's going to be here 2 times 2, right? And this becomes 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 2 times 4 is 8. And then here, the number is already 8, so therefore you have to do nothing with it. And it becomes 7 over 8. And therefore you just add the top because the denominators are the same, and 6 plus 7 is 13 over 8. And you're done. So let me repeat the strategy to you. Whenever you have common factors between denominators, you say, okay, now the bigger number is going to be 8, so what can I do to this 4 so it becomes an 8? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, but I need to do it on the top and at the bottom. So 2 times 4 becomes 8, and 2 times 3 becomes 6. Now, the 8, I need to do nothing, so it could remain an 8. So I just rewrite it, 7 over 8, and since you have the same denominators, you're going to add the top. 6 plus 7 is 13, 13 over 8. Now, let's look at this one, number 3 first. I know it's another number 3, but I'll call this 3b, and this is 3. All right, so here, 12 and 7. Notice that you have a common factor, right? So what can I do? Well, the biggest number is 12. So what can I do to this 3 so I can become that 12? Well, I would need to multiply it times 4, top and bottom. So times 4 here, times 4 here. And then this becomes what? 7 over 12, I'm going to rewrite it as is, the same number. And then 10 times 4 is 40. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, what is 7 minus 40? Since you have the same denominator, you could subtract this. So 7 minus 40, well, if you forgot how to subtract numbers with different signs, you subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So what is 40 minus 7? Okay, so let's see. First, I will rewrite the denominator as is, right? And I will do this. 40 minus 7, right? 10 minus 7 is 3. This becomes a 3. This becomes 33. But I keep the sign of the larger number, so therefore it becomes minus 33 over 12. And notice you can't simplify any further, therefore you would leave it like this. And this is called an improper fraction, but if they don't tell you to make it into either a decimal or put it into a mixed number, I would just leave it like this. Okay, so let's use another example. This is 3b here. So between 9 and 63, do you have a common factor? Okay, you do. So 9 times what gives you 63? That gives you a 7, right? So you multiply top and bottom by 7, and that gives you what? 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 9 is 63, minus 7 over 63. Okay, so now, again, you have the same denominator. You are able to subtract the numerators, and therefore, what's 42 minus 7? Okay, so you have 63, and then 42 minus 7, so you were able to see 12 minus 7 is 5. 4, take away 1, the 3 becomes 35, right? So therefore this is 35. Cool. 35 over 63. Alright, so notice here that there's no common factor between the 7 and the 10, no common factor between the 9 and the 7, and no common factor between the 8 and the 9. So this is the trick. You're going to multiply times the opposite denominator. So in this case, the opposite denominator is 10, right? So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 10. 10 here, 10 here. So 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 7 is 70. And then this guy, I'm going to multiply times 7, top and bottom. 7, 7. So 9 times 7 is 63. 10 times 7 is 70. So now, since I have the denominators the same, I could add the top numbers, and therefore this becomes 93 over 70